Good morning, everyone. We are back with more Speedrun Ragnarok. I'll be your host for the next few runs. I am Neon Gray. And, yeah, here we are. Our next run is gonna be Nights into Dreams for Saturn with jquestionmark. Doing the run will be Dream Tora helping out with commentary. We'll be super happy to hear you, but before we start, I just would like to let everybody know about a couple upcoming goals and bid wars coming. Our next one is gonna be for Magic Boy, where Garby the Glittress will show off a soft lock if that goal is met. We are currently at 40 of $200 there. So please, got a few hours left, but not many. Let's try and fill that one up, because soft locks, those are great. Right after that, coming up, we're gonna be on Shadowgate to show off the death scene of the turtle race. That's at 63 at $250. Let's get some more turtle races in these speedruns. There is also a bid war for that's coming up a little bit sooner than Magic Boy. That's going to be to pick the character route for her Odin Sphere, and I do not know how to pronounce that subtitle. There are choices between Cornelius, Gwendolyn, Mercedes, Oswald, and Velvet. Velvet is currently in the lead with $5, so you can force Demarian to play whatever you want for a very low donation right now. That seems to be everything coming up soon. So yeah, if you are loving Speedrun Ragnarok and would like to hang out with us more often, you can join the RPG Valkyries Discord. We would love to have you. You can type Discord !Discord in chat for a link, which is what I'm about to do. Oh, Smapedy did, because he is a wonderful person. Yes, all the Valkyries, all the friends, they're all good. Come on and hang out. And all of that, I will step back now and let our wonderful runner, introduce himself.
Hi there, I'm jquestionmark. I'm super excited to be running Nights into Dreams. It's a really fun game, and especially excited to be here at Speedrun Ragnarok. It's for a really good cause, so that's always a nice thing to be able to contribute to, even if it is just playing a game I love. I'm going to go ahead and get a fresh file set up for this, because we have to start from a new file on the Saturn version. Otherwise, the game shuffles the bosses, and it is a problem. I've got Dream Tora here with me for commentary, which thank you so much, Tora, because it's really hard to pay full attention and do a decent job at this run while also talking about it in detail. So, yeah, if you want to start chatting whenever, Tora, I'll have this ready to go in just a minute, and I will mostly be quiet.
Alrighty. Yeah, I am Dream Tora, and I also am a Knights runner. This is actually like my third time commentating this game in a marathon, so I'm a low experienced at this point, but it's really exciting to be here, and I thank you so much for letting me be on here.
Cool. So I am ready to start. If you're ready for a countdown, Neon Gray.
Absolutely. So let's go from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, so things start out a little weird. I do this out of order from how most of the other runners do it. And our first level starts not showing off how the game works normally. So if you want to take it away, Tora, I will hush up.
Okay, so this stage, Splash Garden, is one of the couple of stages one of 3 stages you do on foot, with one of the stages being partially on foot. But what Jay's doing here is he's going to be collecting exactly 20 orbs, is about as much as you need to break this cage that it contains a orb which is called a idea, however you want to pronounce it. And the main gameplay mechanic here is that you are knights and you fly around, and and as I said before, you collect 20 orbs to break these cages. And knights can do the dash here, which the dash meter you can see on the bottom left, and paraloops, as you could see Jay doing a couple times here, help bring in orbs that are usually in clusters. And this mare here is interesting in that you collect the 20 orbs you need to break the cage, and you go backwards instead of proceeding through the stage. And the fourth mare is the first of two skips you do, where you skip the auto scroller, which auto scrollers in this game for the most part are really long, and you do not want to do them because they waste quite a bit of time. And he was able to pull off that auto scroller skip, which is you just do a gigantic paraloop to bring all the orbs. And we'll be coming up on the boss of this stage, which is Puffy. And Puffy is really pretty straightforward. You just throw her through these walls, breakable walls. But Puffy is weird in that sometimes she just does not want to cooperate and likes to ruin your day, like she did for Jay.
Yeah, that was a shame. I was not ready for that bounce back.
But 83 Puffy is not too bad.
So I guess it's worth noting, when I first came to this game a long time ago, I was score attacking it. And the game, as you can see, it shows you your score. It's definitely meant to be score attacked, which is why you get bonus multipliers on the bosses. But for purposes of the speedrun, none of that really matters. We need just enough of a score to unlock the final level.
Yeah, as long as you get a C rank on all the levels on like one side, which there are two sides here. I should probably explain that while we're going into Spring Valley here. There are in total 8 levels, but we're only going to be doing 7 of them since we only have to do the final level once. And you do it twice normally, casually. And you play as 2 different characters. You play as Elliot, as you saw Jay play before. And right now he's doing one of Claris's stages. And Spring Valley here is the actual first level you'd be playing, and it's pretty straightforward for the most part. One thing that to keep in mind for this stage is that the second mare, there is a item that you pick up in certain stages that, as I pointed out on the bottom left corner, there's the boost gauge. You want to try and keep that full for the end of certain stages. Mystic Forest is the one stage where it doesn't really matter how full your boost gauge is, but for the most part, it's always nice to have it full anyway, just so you can have enough boost to get through the levels quickly. And you see the ribbon that's trailing behind Jay there? That is, like, I forget what they're called exactly, but basically you have a moment to do a bunch of tricks to rack up a lot of points, in which that would be good to have if you were doing a score attacks of these games. Of this game, I mean.
Oh, and I 100% skipped some chips. There we go. Oops.
Yeah, for this mirror specifically, it's kind of doesn't matter, like, I mean, you don't exactly have to get, like, all of the orbs that are in the path, but as long as you have at least I want to say 16 by the time you get to the top of the mountain there. You should be good. Alright, so we're coming up on the first boss, Gilwing, and Gilwing casually is normally you keep paralooping his head or like grabbing his head and throwing it and like making sure his tail goes away like bit by bit. But like what Jay did there is he paralooped right under Gilwing right as his tail tip was going to pass by, because his tail tip is what ultimately kills him. And if you paraloop that tail tip, then it's just an instant kill, which is really nice. And that was a really nice quick Gilwing.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I won't lie. That's an easy one to fly just a few pixels too high and bump into his tail.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times.
Back when I used to score attack, because you can set which boss you play against, I would always set it to Gilwing, because Gilwing is probably the most guaranteed 2.0 score multiplier. That trick is, it looks cool, but it's actually real easy to learn and perform. Ooh, we don't want those. This mare here, the start of Mystic Forest, is very unforgiving. You need to grab every chip. I think that there's a couple of the mares in Mystic Forest like that where you can't afford to miss anything.
I think it's first mare and second mare where you absolutely have to get every orb or chip in your path. And this stage is interesting in that it's I think it's the only stage where one of the mares is best done completely backwards. Like you see, he went backwards for part of a mare in Splash Garden, but this one has a mare where you go completely backwards.
Which I think is the one we're coming up on right now.
Yep, this upcoming mare that he's about to do. And the reason being is that all the chips that you need are much easier to collect if you just go backwards as opposed to going forwards. And you get exactly 16 here, and then you go past the cage and grab the last 4 that you need. You should be good.
Alright, so last mare, I think, is this the first overhead section we're gonna see?
Yes. If you were to do Splash Garden, like, if you kept going forward on the third mare, you would see an overhead section there. But because Jay skipped that, you won't see that overhead section. So this is the first overhead section you'd see in this run. And there is a car that's driving underneath you, and the car follows Knights wherever he flies. And we have at times accidentally parked that car, and there's usually a little jingle that plays whenever you park that car.
I don't think I ever park it.
I've parked it accidentally at least a few times. Alright, so this boss, Gopo, is a little weird. Did you not get the quick or the 3?
I didn't get the 3.
Gopo was such a weird spot.
That's okay, we got the recovery.
There's a quick strat you could do with Gopo where if you hit him while he's upside down, he takes double damage, and if you do that 3 times successfully, that's a quick kill. But Jay managed to save it despite Gopo being in a weird spot.
Yeah,
and for some reason, Gopo
right on the first one.
And for some reason, Gopo, out of all the bosses, takes a really long time to die there.
Yeah, I think it's a full 30 seconds. It is a huge wait.
Yeah, and Gopo's like the only. Yeah, the Gopo's the only boss that has that issue, strangely. And so, this next stage, Soft Museum, is another stage where you start off doing the first mare on foot. You see Jay collecting like all these orbs in a specific pattern.
Trying to anyway. I'm kind of all over the place on this.
And you can get 21 if you like collected that extra orb like I've always had, but you only need 20, of course. So
I guess it's worth talking about right now. I play on emulation, and this is the one area of the game that really chugs. Interestingly enough, unlike actual hardware, the one thing that doesn't really slow down on this one, that does on hardware, is having peons, which are the little NiGHTS creatures that you can, I guess, not intentionally. I need that. Come on, not intentionally murder, which is what I usually do. But the music changes based on the happiness level of your peons. So by not clearing my data with all the peons in it, you're actually hearing different soundtrack than you would normally hear. And now we come up on my least favorite skip.
oh yeah, this auto scroller skip can be a little weird. So you have to be in a specific spot in order to do this big pair loop. In order to get, you need 2 chips from this skip.
That wasn't too bad.
And it looks like, yeah. Ideally, you want to get out of that with like as much boost as possible, because you do get a refill like during the second mirror, but that's like the only refill you can get in the stage. And you do not want to be too low on boost for the boss coming up here. Boss coming up in a bit.
Gulpo, I think, is the only boss where you really don't suffer for being extremely low on boost. The boss of this stage. Very unpleasant.
He will punish. He will literally punish you for not having any boost.
I see Smapety mentioning the NiGHTS having a surprisingly robust simulation, and that is definitely true. You can actually raise a king NiGHTS, which most speedrunners don't see. I didn't even see back when I used to score attack. Because same thing with score attack, you want to avoid lag so you can maximize your points per stage. So yeah, if you just let them do their thing and hatch their eggs, they can fuse with the monsters to make Mepians.
I think. Yeah, Mepians.
Yeah, there's also,
that boss fight was pretty straightforward. You just have to keep Jackal away from his cape. Because if he gets his cape, then he'll just ruin your day.
Yeah, the fastest way to do it is to throw him up and down, but it greatly increases the chances of him grabbing his cape because he stays a lot closer to it, and that's real scary. So I don't usually go for it.
The HD runners, shoutouts to the HD runners, they're great. Do that strat. At least one of them does that strat where you just throw Jackal up and down, and it's pretty crazy to watch. Alright, so Frozen Bell here, you only partially do on foot. You just need to get 13 chips, and then you get the rest of them just from playing as knights. Yeah, Jackal, I remember being super mean when I ran HD.
Everything in HD feels mean once you get used to Saturn. I guess it's worth talking about for anyone who's interested in checking out this game casually. It's very chill and fun. The speedrun is a ton of fun and pretty low stress, and the HD version is very easy to get a hold of, and honestly plays really well as long as you're not super used to the Saturn version.
Yep. When I first started running this game, HD was the version I played, and then then I got a Saturn and started running the Saturn version, and after that it was like I tried to run. Every time I've tried to run HD again, it just never felt the same. And I'm like, it's like once you go Saturn, it's really hard to go back.
My flight is all over Frozen Bell. It's a mess. I'm sorry, everyone.
Alright, so this is the only auto-scroller that you do in this run, because you cannot skip it. But at least it's the shortest and the funnest auto-scroller to do. And ideally you want to make it out with 16 chips, as Jay did there, because you're going to do a big paraloop to get the rest of the chips that you need. Or two of the rest of the chips that you need.
So this next boss is very execution heavy, so apologies if I ruin it.
Yeah, Claus is interesting in that mainly like Claus has these little mice that he jumps around on, and he lights some of them, and you can destroy the ones that are lit, but
Oh,
you
jeez.
can actually paraloop the ones that aren't lit up, and they'll get destroyed. And the less mice you have, the less mice that Claus has to jump around on. So.
Yeah, usually he lights them when he jumps off of one of them. For some reason, he did not do that on the second to last one.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that was weird.
I didn't notice. That is really weird. Oh yeah, there's a crazy strat, by the way, on I think it's like an HD exclusive thing, where you can actually kill Claus like from the very beginning of the fight with a very precise paraloop. It's really insane and really hard to do.
So, speaking of auto-scroller skips, as we come into Stick Canyon, there's a couple... Ooh. Sorry. Completely unrelated skip. I forgot all about it.
Oh! Cactus jump.
Oh, except I missed.
Oh, you messed it up. That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
a shame.
So there's a little skip you can do there called cactus skip, and if you jump on top of that cactus and stay still and let those Nightmarins grab the orbs from you, you'll be able to keep moving forward, and that cutscene would be skipped completely. And when you go to transform into Knights, something weird happens, and Knights ends up being super glitched to where like he's in the like a curled up position. It's pretty great. But yeah, as Jay was saying, there are a couple autoscrollers in this stage, and the autoscrollers in this stage are absolutely terrible, and you want to avoid them at all costs. And the second mare is the first autoscroller, which
that was
like
so
is
bad.
very scary, and you'll see why in a moment.
Worth noting, I'm going to take an extra second. There's a King Pian structure back there. Worth the time lost to show that off. Yeah. It's in the background. I don't know where the King Pian's off at.
That's really cool. I've never seen that before. But yeah, that's the only auto-scroller that you can accidentally take. The second auto-scroller, thankfully, isn't as easy to accidentally go into.
Yeah, that one's real scary. The dash right there will throw you straight into the start of it.
Yep. And the first auto-scroller, like, it's not as time-consuming as the second one, but it still, like, wastes a bunch of time.
Yeah, the second auto-scroller...
the King Knightopian thing, yeah, that's extremely rare. That's the first time since I started playing this game that I've ever seen that.
Oh, jeez. Well, it was going well.
Oh yeah, this is what we like to call the Tower of Terror, because the second autoscroller of this stage is up this tower, and you didn't want to take that autoscroller, as I said. So after you break the cage, you have to go down the tower And the game doesn't like that, so the camera will fight you as you're going down, so you have no idea what's below you. And yeah, it's just a big pain, and some runners have lost a lot of time to that tower alone.
Yeah, it casually speaking, you essentially want to speedrun your way up, or you will not get to the top with enough time to take the auto scroller and to not time out,
Yep.
which I guess is probably a mechanic worth talking about. Oh, Riala, please, let's not. There we go.
All right. So Riela here, like, you just have to paraloop him 3 times and he's dead. And the strat we usually use is that, like, you can go in a triangle pattern or do a paraloop right as he's flying towards you. And looks like, wow, that was a really clean Riela.
Yeah, that. I think the last few times I've gone up against Riala, one of them I had 56 seconds left. There was one time I had 3 seconds left.
Oh yeah, so you were saying earlier about the second auto scroller. Like, the thing about the second auto scroller is that it's got 2 parts to it, and if you run out of time, the weird thing is that you run out of time and you turn into one of the kids, whoever entered that stage, but the kid stays on the roller coaster grate until like the end of the ride, and you just fall off.
Speaking of being the kid, the final seed or final stage, Twin Seeds, you actually do not play as knights, and because you are not knights, you cannot paraloop. That is.
Yeah, but to make up for that, your draw range is a lot larger, so you don't have to get as close to the chips as you would as knights.
This one's also weird because the other ones you have, I believe it's 120 seconds per mare, whereas this one you get 180 seconds for all of the mares.
Yep. Oh yeah, this game has an incredible soundtrack. So yeah, like one of the last 2 mares of Twin Seeds are interesting in that you do part of this third mare, or actually most of this third mare backwards, and you do a quick turnaround, and you just go backwards from there. And to do a quick turnaround, you basically press both the L and R buttons, and you do like a brake motion, which makes it really easy to turn around quickly. And that's exactly what happens to me too when I try to do that, because L and R buttons are normally the stunt buttons. And because you try and press L and R at the same time to do the brake, you accidentally do a stunt instead.
I see Soyo in chat shouting out my third mare, which anyone who's seen me play this game before knows is usually a disaster.
Yeah.
I always forget to dash through the balloons, and similar to the mice from the Claws boss fight, you grab onto them.
You grab onto the balloons. Which I've grabbed onto the balloons trying to get a little extra chips on the last mare. Alright, so this is the final boss, Wise Man. And Wise Man has 4 phases?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
4,
and
this first one is
pretty easy, just dodge the fireballs. And the second phase, you just have to avoid these rows of asteroids. And to note, like, to make Wise Man change his phases quicker, you actually fly through them. Which in the HD version, you actually can't do that. You have to fly under him to do that. On the snowball phase, oh my goodness, I am amazed you got through that without accidentally grabbing a snowball. Because that's happened to me a lot during runs. And he's doing the snowball phase twice, which is a very strange glitch. He's supposed to be doing the tornado phase there.
every once in a while he'll revert to a prior phase or do the same phase a second time. I don't know why. It happens on hardware, it happens on emulation. Oh, and we're coming up on time as soon as the
Yeah, we're
screen
coming
fades
up on
full to
time
white.
yeah. And time.
Cool. That was shockingly smooth. Thank you so much for doing all the talking so I could focus on being a little less disastrous than normal.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always happy to talk about this game.
The HD version is on Steam, so anyone who saw this and thought it looked fun and want to try it out or want to get into the runs, while Tora and I don't run HD, there are some really active HD runners in the community. It is a really friendly community, a lot of great people. Now is a wonderful time to get in on it since there are actual HD runners that have strats and can help you.
Yeah,
And
the HD strats are really nice for for that version. Like, there's even a strat that's HD only for South Museum that lets you skip a cutscene where the Nightmarins steal ideas from you. But yeah, like as Jay said, please feel free if you're interested in running this game. Definitely pick it up on Steam, or if you want to look for Saturn to get the Saturn version, and join our Discord because we're a lot of great people there.
yeah, oh, that's right. The HD version is on 360
Yeah, it's
and
on.
PS3.
Yep. There's even the PS2 version, which was what the HD version is based off of.
Yeah, the physics. I don't want to talk about it too much because I'll wind up complaining. It feels goofy if you're used to the Saturn version, but it is still a very, very fun game. And if you're not going in with Sega Saturn expectations, you would never know that anything is amiss.
But even if you're not speedrunning the game, I'd highly recommend you try playing the game anyway, because it's a great game and more people should play it.
Yeah, this game is fantastic. Some of my best friends I have met thanks to it. My partner, with whom I have an awesome kiddo, I met because of Nights into Dreams. Yeah, it's really good stuff.
Yeah, there
Well
is
worth
the
the playthrough.
Wii sequel, but we don't like to talk about the Wii sequel.
Yeah, let's not. Let's not.
That's not. Yeah.
It's very pretty, and I believe the soundtrack is really good on that one as well.
It's pretty,
So
and the soundtrack is great. The gameplay.
Just look and listen. Don't actually play it.
Yep.
So it is worth noting, as we're listening to the end credits here, and there are some kids singing this end theme, and we're getting to see all of the weird enemies in the game that actually have names, because why not? I don't remember any of the names. Tora knows a lot more of them than I do.
I only remember the cuddle from Stick Canyon, and that's about it.
A lot of these enemies, we wind up flying past them so fast, and it's rare to get hit by them. It's really hard to remember what they even do, except for this. It should be showing up in a moment. The Gao, which is electric, and occasionally just fly right in your way and turn on its sparks.
Oh yeah, the Gao is actually another annoying enemy besides the cuddle.
Yeah, Cuddle robs you of your entire boost meter, which is at the point
there
where
it is, right there.
It's rough. It is not pleasant. But
the Kirkle or Circle, however you pronounce that. Those are annoying enemies too at times.
Yeah, where they grab you and pull you down.
Yep.
It is worth mentioning this game, the end theme, if you get all A's on every level and clear it as both characters, you get an adult version of the theme, which,
And the
now
adult
that I say
version
that
is
out
the
loud,
best
sounds
version.
weird, but it's adults singing instead of kids. So, yeah, you'd think it wouldn't make a huge difference, but it sounds way better.
It's like nothing against the kid version, just the adult version just sounds better overall.
This game definitely has a very, very similar aesthetic to Klonoa. It is.
I
It
mean, it
is
does
very
take
much
place
in that
in
ballpark.
a dream world, which Klonoa does as well, so that makes sense.
It's bright, it's colorful, it's fun. It's something that this era of games did really well, but Klonoa and Nights into Dreams are definitely the pinnacle of bright, vibrant, and enjoyable.
Them and Kirby. Kirby's another
Mm.
kind of dream world type game that is very bright and colorful as well.
Oh yeah, it's all about the low poly chunk. So, we can ramble on about this indefinitely, but whenever you want to cut us off. Oh. Sounds great.
Good.
Alright, that has been Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn. We are gonna be sticking with jquestionmark for the next run, which will be Skygunner Fem%. I've never heard of this game, but I like the sound of that percent. And once again, you are watching Speedrun Ragnarok, which supports Take This. Take This reaches out to gaming companies to help them promote healthier and more productive work environments, and to ensure that they have methods in place for helping employees who suffer from mental illness. There's been a lot of news about the gaming industry lately, so, that work is absolutely vital. If you want more information, please visit takethis.org. And let's see where we're at here. We do still have the upcoming bid war for Odin Sphere to pick the character route. Currently $5 in the lead for Velvet, so $6 or more will let you pick the route for some other character. We've got Cornelius, Gwendolyn, Mercedes, or Oswald, any of who would be happy to take your money and make our wonderful runner for that game, Demarine, do something other than Velvet. I don't know which one is better or worse, so hey, you could have some fun with that. We are also currently sitting at $55 of $200 for Magic Boy to show off a soft lock, which everybody wants to see a soft lock, and that is a $200 soft lock. Let's do our best to see what that is. We've also got 63 of 250 for Beyond Shadowgate to show off the Death Seed and the Turtle Race. And Turtle Race, come on. I don't know what that is, but I love turtles, I love races, I want to see that turtle race. And let's just check and see on how jquestionmark is doing. Looks like we are still swapping over games here on this end. let's take a look at upcoming. Let's see what's coming past that. We do have no new donations coming in. We are currently at $8,446 of our $10,000 goal. That's every donation counts to get us a little bit closer. We are also currently sitting at $170 of 300 for River City Girls to upgrade that category to all bosses. Everybody likes more bosses except when they're at work. Let's see. There are, of course, a variety of bid wars coming for Final Fantasy VII, to name the characters Cloud, Barret, Tifa, and Red 13. You can, Cloud and Barret still have nothing on them. You can claim that easily. Also, for Universal Paperclips, which is a very fun little incremental game, there's going to be a rolling incentive going on. Whoever is in the lead there is going to pick the background music while those paper clips get clipped. Let's take a look here. Alright. This does not look like knights on this end, so I'm thinking they're probably going to be ready to go soon. Okay, yeah, we will be back in just 1 second here while we get everything set up for our next game.